Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of What the Real Podcast. I'm your host Darnell.
And I'm Brittany.
So guys, make sure you follow us on all those podcast apps out there. Give us how many stars?
5 stars, guys.
Yeah, make sure you rate us 5-star, guys. Also, we got a brand new YouTube channel, so make sure you go on there. It's What the Real Podcast, so at YouTube. So make sure you go there and like and subscribe. And then also, if you want, you can send us an email. What's our email? Let's see if I can put you
Podcast whatthereal@gmail.com.
Yes.
I got it this time.
Yeah.
I focused and I said it and I got it right.
So yeah, definitely send us email, any suggestions, comments, go ahead and leave it there. Eventually we'll do a Q&A, so make sure you leave some.
Yes, we want to hear from you guys. We always want to hear from you guys. We want to hear what you think we should improve, what you guys enjoy, what you don't like. We want to know everything. We want to hear your opinions about things. We want to hear what's your favorite of whatever it is. Did you enjoy that movie? Did you not enjoy it? We're curious.
Yeah, so go ahead and definitely do that. So what are we doing today?
Today we're going to do the movie review of Carry On.
Carry On, yes. Super pumped about this. I know you were telling me I was going to review this right when it came out. But I didn't. I reviewed Heretic, and then you telling me you seen it. So I was like, all right, we might as well review it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah?
I thought the movie was great. I loved it. And the main character, Ethan, I love that actor.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, from Kingsman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. I enjoyed the movie too. I liked it. Thought it was good. I thought it was somewhat original. I like the fact they're using regular people as like guy's TSA agent. She works in the management or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, it's nothing like, normally when you see movies like that, it's all about, like a detective or, trying to go after the terrorists. But this is just normal people, normal lives, and they get caught up in a crazy situation. And I thought it was good. I like that they threw some comedy in there. I like the comedy they added to the movie, which definitely was good. It helped it out. But yeah, it's definitely original, and I liked it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So you want to go ahead and break this down?
All right, let's do it. So it starts off by opening with a plane flying by. And then it goes into showing a taxi dropping a guy off at a Christmas tree shop. And he gets out and he has a duffel bag in his hand. And what happens with that?
So it looks like he's making some kind of deal.
So pretty much he has a duffel bag of money and he was supposed to do this deal.
Yeah.
Supposed to take the car, to take the plane,
Yeah.
to take the bomb, to do that. But we don't know that yet. And he pretty much spiked it with something. I think the money had something on it, and it nicked him, and it caused him to cough up
He
blood
started bleeding
and die. And then when his nephew came in, but you don't know it's his nephew at the time.
Yeah.
But when the other guy comes running in, he shoots him dead, and then he sets the place on fire. And then he goes back and grabs the car, and you open up the trunk, and you see the suitcase in the trunk.
Suitcase, yep.
And you're like, that's got to be a bomb, or is it drugs? But most likely you're thinking a bomb.
Yeah.
Because Carry On. What else?
Yeah. 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 So he ends up burning the place down, leaves with the car with the package. And then we go to like a couple getting ready to go to work. That's the main characters pretty much.
Ethan and Nora.
Yep. They're getting ready for work. We find out that she is pregnant. They're driving to work. And then we find out they actually work for the TSA. They actually go to like a shuttle that pretty much takes them to the actual airport. And we find out that he was actually, she wanted him to reapply for the police academy.
Yes.
Yes. Because,
She said that was the last time he was actually happy.
Yeah. Because they're, she's pregnant and they're trying to, step up their game and trying to live a little better life than just, what they're doing.
Yeah, but I think she's in a pretty good position.
Yeah, she was.
She's in a good position.
I
She's
think
a manager.
I think they said she just got that role too.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah, so she wants him to do a little bit better, and
Well, she wants him to be happy.
yeah,
So if being on a police force makes him happy, then that's what she wants for him. So, but who knows? Does he get on it? I don't know. Does he go for it? I don't know.
yeah,
And then they get into the airport, and then this random guy walks into him. And the one lady I thought the lady was so funny. She's like, airports turn people into such dickheads.
yeah,
I had to write that down. I thought that was so funny when she said that.
yeah. There's definitely a lot of that going on. There's a lot of that type of comedy all throughout the movie with that stuff. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah. So he gets to his job's meeting and he's late. Of course he is. But they're showing that they want them to make sure that they're going for fake boarding passes. So they give them counterfeit pens to look out for them.
Yeah. Then we see him. He goes to his boss and he's asking for a promotion.
Yep.
The boss is like, "Hey, you're like 10 minutes late, and you really want to, want me to give you a promotion, give you some more money, even though we know that you're having a baby, because everyone working found out that they're about to have a kid." He tells them that he's gonna step up, and then he asks to be on the machine, and then I guess his friend, do you remember his name?
No, I don't remember his name.
Jason. His friend Jason's like, "All right, you know what? You go ahead and take my spot. You can be on the actual machine, and I'll do the metal detecting." So he's like, they're like trying to give him a chance to step up. And,
Yeah. That is true. So they get in there, and then they show him, he logs into the computer, and he works the system. And then you see the guy on the computer, he has video footage of them breaking into the house of the guy who was originally supposed to be there. They're breaking into the guy's house, and they were going to see his wife and kids. And they're like, "Should we grab them?" And they're like, "Oh, wait, hold on a second. That's not the right people there. It's supposed to be someone else doing that position." So then they try to figure out who he is, and they figure out he's Ethan Kopech.
Yeah.
They figure out he's Ethan Kopech, and they figure out things real fast about him. How his wife Nora is, that they're about to have a baby, and then
Yeah. So so they obviously know it wasn't him, and then he went to I think someone left a earbud in the actual one of the containers. He picks it up, and
he gets a text message that says, "Put it in
your ear," and he puts it in the ear, and then a guy's talking, pretty much saying like, "Hey, pretty much, hey, there's gonna be someone coming through, and you're gonna have to let him through. It's gonna be one bag for one life," he says. I thought that really stuck out, that one bag for one life thing.
Yeah, I didn't write that down, but yeah, you're right. And make sure the bag gets through to him, or else if it doesn't, then she dies if anyone finds out about it. And then it jumps to that burning building. The detective is driving. She's texting and driving, and almost crashes into the cop. And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And she's like, "Oh, I did the thing I wasn't supposed to do."
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
And then they're like, "Yeah, we found 2 bodies in there. One was shot dead. It was the nephew of the Russians. The building was burnt. They're not sure who did it. And they found a watch. And she breaks open the back of the watch. And inside of it, what do they call it? A cricket?
A bug or something. Yeah, like a bug.
They called it a cricket.
Maybe they called it a cricket, maybe.
I think so. And they said that probably recorded for the last 72 hours, so it might have what went down on it.
Yeah. And then I wrote down they had a little comedy montage of like all the things that's going on.
Oh yeah, showing different people causing problems.
Yeah, like people are pissed.
Or put it in the bin.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny what they were doing with all that. So, whoever wrote this definitely probably worked for the TSA at some point in their life.
Yeah, I know, right?
So we go back to Ethan talking to the guy. This guy's just rambling a lot. He's just talking about
He's asking what his plans
yeah,
are, asking where him and Nora met, and then
mhm,
he tried to do a text and he got busted.
yeah,
They made him put his watch and cell phone in the lost and found.
yeah. And they actually one thing I wrote that he was talking about his mother and how she worked. Well, no, where he was born in New Brunswick, and then they were talking about him going to Freehold Mall or something like that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh wow, okay.
I was
Like,
like,
what?
weird.
I was like, okay. Um, so yeah, then they caught him trying to text on his watch as well. He
Yeah.
ended up have to put that lock up as well.
Then it skips to the ho-ho guy. The guy gets ho-hos. And
Mm.
and so he pretty much bribed the cop to do that so he can break the cricket. And he tried doing it and he said, "This is what we got." And she's like, "You don't deserve the ho-hos." And she went to go take them away.
Mhm.
And he's like, "No." And she's like, "Well, you don't deserve them." And he's like, "I'll try to do better."
Yeah, they try to look for the stuff on the bug. Um, and then while we go back to Ethan, and while we hear him, like he's actually really observant. So while he's talking to him, he's trying to figure out like where can he find this guy?
Yeah, like
'Cause
here's
he's
like a
here.
baby
Yeah,
crying, plates dropping.
yeah. So they're showing Ethan is a very smart guy, and he really actually at one point he did see where he was sitting at. He's seen the back of him at the table because you can see him, you can hear him chomping as he talked to him, chomping on food
Yeah.
and stuff. Um, and then he finds him. Then he signals the cop. Uh,
Well, he says he's going to do a bag check for this
yeah.
one guy. And then he's like, "Can I see your boarding pass?" And he writes a message on the boarding pass with this
Mm,
Tide to Go pen that the one cop gave him earlier in the movie.
yeah.
And he makes him check it and he reads the message and he walks away. And Jason Bateman's character, who doesn't have a name, just called Traveler,
Yeah.
just what I'm gonna say, um, pretty much gets up, leaves his spot, walks into him,
It's
and
like bumps right
does
into him. Like
bumps right into
yeah.
him, and he falls down to the ground. Everyone thinks he has a heart attack, and grabs the boarding pass from him and walks away. And then his girlfriend is trying to get a hold of him, and she keeps calling him and not. And he said he pretty much sits down with him at the chair, saying he killed him because he did not follow the rules.
Yeah. Yep. He didn't follow the rules, and he said he would kill him. Uh, sell the sell the kids and Nora. If he wanted, if long as he does what he's supposed to do, because they were saying that uh, obviously he killed them, so he would have killed Jason's kids because he was the one who was supposed to be
Yeah.
sitting there. So he means business. And then that's when he says there's going to be a guy with a red cap walking through his lane soon. So and then that's when Ethan was like, all right, make sure there before we do this, I want to make sure there's nothing horrible in this bag for me letting it through. And he just
Yeah.
keeps on telling me, don't worry about that. Oh yeah, it's nothing. We just got to get it through.
So pretty much he goes back and
Mhm.
he's realized he's kicked off the machine. So it's like his boss is like, "Oh, this isn't the time. This isn't the place.
Mhm.
It's a busy holiday. We'll do it again another time." So he sends him to the metal detectors, and the guy's like, the traveler is like, you better get on that machine because my guy's gonna get there. You better get on a machine. Either I'm gonna do it or
Mhm.
you're gonna do it. So pretty much Ethan leaves. He goes and types in a code in the door and breaks into the liquor thing,
Mhm.
steals 2 small bottles of liquor,
Yeah.
goes into the break room and goes to pour them in a cup of coffee for him and brings it over to the guy. What's his name? Jason?
Jason, yeah.
Jason, and says, "Oh, I left my phone there. I think I left my phone there. Can you check?" And he looks and he switches out the cups.
Yeah.
And then the traveler does the rest. What does the
Yeah.
traveler do?
He goes into the boss, and he complains that there's a guy over there. One of your workers is drunk or something like that. So he actually goes over there, and he checks, and he's like, hey, you got to get off. You shouldn't be drinking on the job. So he actually gets kicked off the machine, and that's when he tells Ethan, hey, get back on the machine. You're good to go. And then we see Jason like just stares at Ethan like he was like, I knew it was you.
Yeah, I know you
I
messed this
know
up
you.
for me.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you want a promotion, and then here you are
Yeah.
getting me fired.
Yeah.
And then the other guy who's working the machine right behind him says it's pretty weird how he got busted when he's a D&D every time they go out to drink.
So they know he doesn't drink at all. And that's when Red Hat comes up and the bag goes through. And that's when we find out what we're dealing with. It's right at the time it was going through. It kind of goes back and forth with the detective while she's like looking up, because she was looking up she heard when she was listening to the
cricket.
The cricket thing. She heard what was it? The Novichok or something like that.
Novichok, I think it was.
And then she, searches that up, and then we see it going through the machine, saying it's like a deadly nerve gas, and it's by the Russians made it, and it can deal some serious damage. Like if it gets out, like it's gonna take everyone out, like some serious stuff.
Yeah. So pretty much, the thing's going through. You see it. It's showing all these different things about the bomb on the computer screen and stuff like that. Ethan's like, holy crap, I can't let this through. So pretty much he lets it through anyway, and he gets up, he goes to the guy, he's like, sir, it's like, you forgot something, you forgot your boarding pass, and gave it to him. And he goes on his way.
Made sure he looked at the boarding pass.
Oh, yes, he made sure he looked at it to find out what flight he was on. And his name. Gotta pay attention to these things.
Yep. And then also the traveler says that he's just getting paid for this. This is just a job he's doing, and he tells Ethan not to break his schedule. So Ethan was in the act. Then Ethan went to the bathroom and started puking up.
Yeah.
Because he knew he just freaking, gave let a freaking bomb through.
Yeah. Yeah, he's talking to him while he's using the urinal. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I don't remember what they were rambling about, but he was just saying there's a flight with kids on them, and he doesn't really care. This is life. Stuff happens, stuff like that. And then he throws up again, and then he's like, here's some gum. Make sure you don't break your routine. If you break routine, people get suspicious. And he's like, what are you going to do when you go on lunch? And he's like, I'm going to have lunch with Nora. He's like, great. I've always wanted to meet Nora.
All right. Then they go back to the detective. She calls Homeland Security, saying that there was also a call for 911 because Ethan called 911 and it just hung up. So they seen that. So her and the Homeland Security guy who showed up, they decided to go to the airport and to shut down all the lanes and stuff.
And then it switches back to Ethan and Nora having lunch. And Nora's like, oh, so what's this news you have for me? He's like, oh, no, it's nothing. She's like, oh, come on, tell me. And she's like, oh, I might get a promotion. And she's like, what about being a cop? And he's like, I don't know if I want that. And they're just talking back and forth about the two things. And she's like, don't be afraid to fail. And the guy and the speaker's like, tell her she's right. And he's like, I need you to stop telling me what to do. And she backs off, gets offended. I guess she gets sad, you would say?
Yeah, she's a little pissed off. Yeah.
She's sad, pissed. And she backs off and she's like, okay, I'm going to go now. You call me after work. I'll see you after work. And she goes and leaves.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to the cop, and the cop says she needs to talk to Ethan. She said how the call was an error and that Williams reported it, but Williams died 2 hours earlier, so I'm not sure if what is the suspicion between the two things with that. Then the cops come to the airport and shut down all the belts because they're going to be doing checks for suspicious people that they want to do. So the TSA meet in the meeting room. they're gonna be doing bag checks, and Ethan grabs the boss's phone or
Yeah.
computer or whatever and types in Mato's name on the thing
Yeah.
to have him as one of the people to get bags searched. And it shows Jason is fired, and they have the guy with the red hat says it was him, and he's telling him not to post it. Then it shows Ethan is running.
Yeah,
and
because Mateo gets he gets the random search,
yeah, he gets
they
picked up.
and then they see him walking into the room, so he's like, all right, forget this. He takes the earpiece off and then makes a run for it.
No, he keeps the earpiece.
Oh,
He doesn't get rid of the earpiece until the end of the movie.
Oh, so he had it. I mean, I think he maybe just took it out of his ear then. I don't
Maybe.
think he didn't. Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he runs for it.
He's running, and the guy in the van is moving. He
Oh,
gets
yeah,
a
yeah.
sniper out,
Yeah, yeah.
and Ethan grabs Nora, and he's like, "We have to get out of here now."
hmm
And Nora's like, "What's going on?" And they stop, and the guy with the sniper has the red dot on her forehead.
Yeah, because he wanted to tell her like, hey, I mean, he wanted to tell Ethan like, hey, no, we mean business. Like,
This
we're
is
gonna,
the real
this
deal.
is real deal. So yeah, he tells him like, don't say a word, just leave, and he ends up just walking away from her.
Yeah, and she gets upset
Yeah.
again, yet
Yeah.
again, disappointed.
Yeah.
Poor girl.
Then they were in the bathroom, right?
Yep, they're in the
Yep.
bathroom again.
And
The
then
traveler beats him up.
yeah, they get into a fight. Then we see Ethan actually grabs his gun. Then says, let his girlfriend go. And then right at the time the traveler arms the bomb.
Yes.
It has like a 10-minute timer, and he tells him like, all right, well, now we're all gonna die, so you have to go disarm it. And it takes me a minute and 30 with with me knowing how to do it, so you better go.
Yeah. So once again, he's on the run,
Yeah.
and he goes into the room, and he pulls the gun on his boss, and he's holding it up at him.
Mm-hmm.
And his boss is like, "You don't want to do this, son. You don't want to do this." And he's just standing there, and he puts the gun down, and then Mateo, the guy in the red
Yeah.
hat, grabs
Just
a
grab
pen
him.
and stabs him right in the throat.
Yeah, right in the throat. And then we see this dude Mateo. He's like crying, kind of crying. He's like, "Oh my God, I didn't have a choice. They're gonna go after my husband or something like that." Then at that time, that's when he starts to disarm the bomb. And it's definitely crazy. Like, he had to do so much just to disarm it.
Yeah. There was a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of.
I didn't write it
stuff.
down because
Yeah.
if you want to watch the movie, you'll
Yeah,
go through all
it was
the
a lot of
steps on how
stuff,
to
but
do it.
he literally, it was like 3 seconds left because he couldn't reach it with his
Yeah,
finger. He
you
had to
had
use a pen.
the pen. Yeah, the
Yeah.
bloody pen.
So it was like 3 seconds left. He disarms the bomb.
The one TSA agent's trying to come in the door. He's like,
Mhm.
"Why is this door locked?" And he's like, "Hold on a second." And the guy's holding up, Mateo's holding up the gun at the guy at the door. He's like, "Come on, don't do this." And as he's disarming the bomb and setting that up, closing that up, the other guy was hiding the dead body
Yeah.
behind suitcases.
Yeah. So
And then they finally let him in, and he's like, "I was just doing a bag check." And he's like, "You're doing a bag check by yourself?" And he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, well, he went out to go do something, so I had to do it for him just to finish it up." And he's like, "Okay." He's like, "I'm on to you, man. You're acting weird."
yeah, you're acting weird, dude.
Yeah.
So then it goes back to the detective and her and the Homeland Security guy. They're driving in the car getting to the airport, and her other detective calls her on the phone and saying like, he was like giving her a heads up what's going on. Then he was talking about the Homeland Security guys should be on his way. And
Yeah.
she's like, wait, I'm in the car with him. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell? That didn't make any sense. So she was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to I forget exactly what she said. Oh, I'm going to continue this car ride with him. And the guy was like, wait, what? So then she pulls the gun out and says like, hey, I know you're not the Homeland Security guy.
Yeah.
And he says something like, oh, I forgot exactly what he said, but he had like a tattoo on his forearm saying like, oh, you're not gonna be able to stop it. and then they get into some crazy like fight scene in the car,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I think that looked really cool the way how it was shot. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And they end up crashing their car, flipping over, and
Yep.
then we see the guy wakes up and starts choking her, and then you think like, oh man, she's about to die,
Yeah,
but
that's it.
she ends up shooting the guy and getting out. So that was a really cool scene. I really enjoyed that one.
Then Mateo and Ethan are seen walking the body inside the bag on one of the suitcase racks to the sorting room. And the traveler just said he wants to talk to Mateo and he had one last task for him to do and he'll be set free, was to kill Ethan. So you see them get into a fight. In
Mm,
this big dramatic fight, he pulls the gun, he shoots him. They're fighting on the belts and
hmm.
stuff like that. It's a pretty long fight. You see the bag going all one way,
Yeah.
and I guess when Mateo got to last bullet, the gun exploded
Hmm.
and stabbed him in the neck,
Yeah,
and it
because
killed him.
yeah, kill him. Yeah, because earlier Traveler was talking about how he snuck that gun because it's a plastic gun. So he was saying like, after a couple of shots, it's gonna heat up and eventually it will explode if you keep shooting it.
Yeah. So he's dead. He takes Mateo's phone and does the face recognition and sends a text message to that one guy. One guy who was trying to get people to listen to his music and
Yeah, the
says,
rapper, SoundCloud.
"Hey, yeah, hey, this is Ethan Kopak.
Mm,
Kopak. Um, there's a guy with a sniper in a van that says so and so. Please get Nora to safety."
mhm.
And then it shows the traveler walking down a hallway, and they're saying this is a restricted area.
Yeah, ends up killing
And he kills the guy,
kills the
and he
guy.
gets the code to go in to the sorting room.
Yeah, right after he texts this about the sniper.
Okay,
That's when the Traveler comes in and he sees him and shoots him in the arm. And
I think he shoots the phone because he said he missed him,
oh, I thought he shot him in the
and
arm.
he goes
Okay.
to look at the phone, and the phone's all busted.
Oh, okay, so he shot the phone. Okay, I thought he shot him in the arm.
No, I
Okay.
missed him. And you see him, he grabs two suitcases.
Mm.
One's a little bit bigger than the other one, and you're thinking, what is he gonna do with this?
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind, folks. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So he literally leaves the bomb right there and he's hiding.
Yeah.
And the traveler goes and grabs the bomb. He's like, "Oh, this is it. This is weird. Why would he just leave this? Like,
Yeah.
he didn't want me to have it. So why is he leaving this?" But he takes it and he's like, "Okay, now I need something to get off this plane." So
Yeah. Also, we see the Traveler. He tells the other guy to says kill the girl.
oh yes,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
yeah. So that guy, which he's in that van the whole time with Mateo's boyfriend or
Husband, yeah.
um, which we didn't know that in early because we seen him early in the movie. We didn't know that was him.
Yeah.
So he starts. We see him. I think the girl was talking about. Oh, she got the message. She was trying to decode where it said what was the name of the truck, something.
I forget.
Something she pretty much it was in the text and you're like, what does this even mean? And then the van pulls up and she sees it and it says it on the van.
Yeah.
And then she knows like, all right, this guy is trying to kill her, so they start running. And then that's when the rapper guy's like, oh, don't worry about it, I got this.
And he just comes up and stabs him right in the side.
He just ends up just stabbing him, and then just walks past like nothing happened. So he goes after her. She goes into the parking garage.
Yep.
She gets chased into the parking garage, and then it cuts back to Ethan, where the detective finds Ethan, and she's trying to put handcuffs on him. He ends up pushing her,
Mm-hmm.
and then explaining what happened like really fast. Like, oh, it's not me, it's this guy. He's in all black with a hat and a suitcase with a red ribbon, and then he runs away. I gotta go save my girlfriend.
Yep.
So then,
Then it goes back to Nora
yeah,
in the parking garage, and she's running away from the guy with the van. First, he's chasing her with the van. Then he crashes into a car, and he gets out, and he has a gun. And she's just hiding behind cars and he's looking there.
Mhm.
And then she smashes him in the head with a bottle.
Yeah.
And she goes to go escape. And Ethan comes. She's like, help, help. And Ethan comes and he's hugging her. And you think he's about to shoot them.
Mhm.
Bam!
Oof.
Mateo's husband shoots him
Yeah.
dead.
With
'Cause
that,
he escaped with the
yeah.
sniper.
With that, I think that's like a 50 caliber gun, or it's close to it. But yeah, it's a big ass. Luckily, he hit that shot, because if he missed, that would have sucked. But
Yeah. I mean, you got a sniper, so you should have a pretty good shot.
so yeah, he ends up killing him, and then he asks about Mateo, and he pretty much tell him, like, he didn't make it, but he was, doing all this for you, trying to free you.
Yeah. Then it switches to the traveler. He's walking, shows him walking, and shows him sit down. He puts a bag behind his chair.
Mhm.
And the lady comes up and says something. I don't remember what it was. But she said, did you write down what it was?
No.
She just rambled on. And she puts a bag down in the chair. She grabs his bag, and then he grabs his bag. And it looks like there's a parachute and stuff in there.
Yeah.
And a boarding pass.
I think I had a gas mask.
A gas mask too, yeah. So they grab it, and yeah.
Um.
Then the cop calls. Well, the one guy calls and says that the guy who is the fake Homeland Security guy was former intelligence.
Yeah. Then we find out that that there were 2 boarding passes, that he was going on another flight, and there was a congresswoman.
Oh yeah, Grace.
Yeah, that's they're gonna be on the flight as well. Then they're trying to figure out, like, where he's going, and they ended up searching the actual bag, because the bag got scanned.
Yeah, so he tried putting the bag in his carry-on in there, and he said it got flagged. The lady's like, oh, it's been flagged already. So they went to go check it in, and Ethan and Nora looked it up in the system and was able to find the bag, which flight it was.
Yeah.
That's how they knew. So Ethan's like, I can do this. I know what to do. We got to keep this flight going. We can't ground it.
Yeah, he tells her to go to find the detective and let her know that, make sure this plane goes off. Then also they find out that it's a setup. So the traveler will always talk about, hey, I was getting paid for this. And they actually come to find out that these guys are pretty much terrorists, and they're trying to blame the Russians for what they're about to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. We see the traveler. He's on the plane. He looks at his phone. Then he sees that. Well, we see Ethan. He's making his way to that plane. Ends up sneaking inside the plane from the bottom. He starts looking for the
bag.
the bag. He ends up finding it and starts actually diffusing it. And once he hit that first button, it turns into manual mode. And that's when the traveler looks at his phones and he sees that it actually went into manual mode. So he gets up and starts making his way to the bottom area of the plane.
Yep. And he goes down there and he sees Ethan down there and they're talking and he shoots him in the leg.
Yeah.
And Ethan's like, he has a suitcase and he puts it in this door area. He throws it in there and then he's sitting down on a wall. And the traveler goes and grabs the suitcase and he opens it up and he realizes that the poison or gas or whatever it is missing from it.
Yeah.
And he's like, you see this? You want this? And he pushes him into this room thing and throws the gas thing in there, makes sure it breaks and shuts the door and holds it back on him. And then he dies of a horrible, painful death.
Yeah. And what's crazy is, like, how did you know that thing was airtight? Imagine if it wasn't airtight, because they both would have been
like, how did it not leak into the entire plane?
Yeah.
Movies.
Is that spot, like, is there an airtight place in the plane just for, I don't know, that just seems weird, right?
Yeah.
Like a coincidence, there's an airtight place in the plane.
Yeah. So the plane was turning around. So, because they saw on the video footage that there was stuff going on in the cargo.
Yeah, they heard the shot or something like that.
Yeah, they heard the shot. So they turned around, they landed. Ethan jumps out of the plane, and the cops are there to arrest him. And then the detective comes and is like, "That's not the guy. That's not the guy. Let him go." They let him go, and he's walking. Nora comes. She's like, "Ethan," and the detective is like, "Let her through." And they grab him, and they're just nonchalantly just walking towards the ambulance
Yeah.
like it's nothing. I don't know about you, but if I got shot in the leg, I'd be like, "Yo, can you take me to the hospital and get this
Right.
fixed?" Because I have a feeling I would be in a lot of pain.
Yeah, they're a little too happy. Yeah. I think he's probably still running on a little bit of adrenaline, but now he's calming down. He probably
But they're
probably
just
feeling
sitting
it.
at the back of the
Yeah.
ambulance.
Yeah, he's probably feeling it now. Yeah. Yeah. Just chilling,
Oh
like,
my
oh,
gosh!
nothing
If
happened.
that was real life, man,
Yeah.
you'd be out of there so fast.
Yeah. So they walk off, and then they go. We see them back at the TSA, and he's going through checkpoint, and he has a little baby with him. So she had the kid.
It's like a year later,
Yeah.
Christmas time.
They had the kid, and we see like some person getting yelling at the TSA, and then he stops them, and then we see him like putting stuff in the little container, and then we see him throw his badge in there. So it comes to find out he became a cop.
police officer.
Yep, and that's how it ended.
That is how it ended.
Yeah. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I liked it. It was definitely original, but it did remind me of one movie.
What?
There's this movie called Phone Booth. I don't know if you ever
Never
seen that
seen
movie.
it.
There's a movie called Phone Book where guy hears the phone rings, he picks it up, and then there's a guy on the other line saying, "Hey, don't leave this phone book." I'm trying to remember his phone booth because all this stuff, and I have a gun pointing at you, and a lot of the movie is him just talking on the phone, and like a lot of people is trying to get him off the phone, and he's like, "Hey, if you get off this phone, I'm gonna shoot you." Like, so it's kind of similar to that. But it's still original. I still give it, it's original at a lot. I like the fact they did like anything that you've seen on the phone or on the computer, they show like a 3D
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
of
that
it.
was good. That was good. Yeah,
I thought it was
definitely.
cool. I like that car scene. That car scene was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I like the comedy. There's a lot of comedy in it. There's a lot of tense moments. When he first gets that phone, when he first puts the earpiece in his ear, and it's super tense. Like, should he, not do this? Should he do it? And you see him trying to find different ways to, contact people,
Yeah.
and they're right on it every single time. But yeah, I think it was good. It was like a little small and contained movie that had big stakes, but it was still contained.
Yep.
Thought it was good. Yeah.
I thought it was good too.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I'm glad we did a review for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah. So what are you gonna rate this?
If I had to rate it on a scale from 1 to 5, I would give it a 4.
Okay.
What would you
I'm
rate
close.
it?
I'm gonna give it 3.5.
3.5?
3.5, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty good.
Nice.
Definitely enjoyed it. So guys, yeah, let us know what you thought of the movie. That you like, that you not. Yeah, definitely. How many stars would you give it? Yeah, definitely let us know.
Yeah. Email us at what?
What the Real Podcast? Podcast What the Real at Gmail.
We will get that down.
Yeah,
guys.
we'll get it down.
Podcast whatthereal at gmail.com.
Yes, podcast What the Real at
Ask us
gmail.com.
anything so we can do a Q&A for you guys.
Yeah, definitely do that. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty good. Yeah, definitely want to hear from you, and let us know what you thought of this movie. So yeah, guys, we'll definitely catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Bye.